and good morning or good afternoon to all from my home here in Amman, in Jordan. So, just one second. Okay, Ruby mentioned already my name. I've been working in a lot of countries for 19 years around the world and around the globe. And in the last 7 years here in different countries in the Middle East region. We've just in the last couple of days carried out a survey, and we will release the report in the next couple of weeks. Basically asking 1,599 children aged 6 to 17 years old investigate on the effects of COVID-19 on psychological well-being of refugees and displaced children. We carried out the survey in Syria, in Yemen, in Iraq, and Jordan. And half of them had an increase on stress level across these 5 countries mentioned. There's let's say quite a lot of information, but again, if you just sign up to our newsletter here in the link that you see in front of you, you can receive the report in the next couple of weeks. But 81% of these children reported being able to concentrate while studying at home, having participated in the NRC flagship Better Learning Program that Ruby just mentioned. What is the Better Learning Program? Helen in the previous panel already started mentioning some of it, and you can see her pictures are here. Basically, this is a program that started as a pilot in a very few number of schools, 8-9 schools in Gaza, in UNRWA schools, and in 2011, in collaboration with the University of Tromsø, which always claims to be the furthest north university, so we're near to the polar bears up there. So basically this program started in 2011, and based on quite a few number of research evaluations, after action reviews that were carried out in the field, it kind of expanded in today in 31 countries across the globe. I'll show you later where we are in the Middle East. And if you have to think it in a simple way and think about the traffic lights, so it's green, yellow, and red. So the green one is a general classroom-based psychosocial support targeted to all children. So basically we provide capacity building to teachers, focusing on specific and simple techniques to enhance concentration and focus in classrooms or in countries that are either in acute emergency or in protracted conflict. So we're talking about countries and we work with refugees and internally displaced population. Number 2 is more targeted for children who have gone underachievers. So for a period of 2 months, due to stress, high level of stress, their performance in maths, in Arabic, in science has gone down, has dropped down. And so we work with teachers to capacitate them in group works, to work on study skills, executive functioning, and all of that. While the third one is the more psychosocial support, hardcore type of intervention you have to have a background in psychology, or have to be a counselor, and it works with children who have trauma-induced nightmares, children who have 4 to 5 nightmares during the week usually, and that struggle in everyday learning inside schools. Now, this program, in a very simple way that I'm just scratching the surface today, but it's based on the 5 principles of Hopeful. Being able to calm down, providing a sense of safety and stability, the power to change the situation, the ability to connect with others, being teachers, being parents, family, friends, and reestablishing hope. And in countries in conflict, whenever I talk about hope, it really triggers what we really work for in trying to reestablish that hope. Focusing, going back to the Middle East, these are the countries where we work and where the better learning is implemented. I am part of a regional grant which has 2 main longer-term outcomes. We want to give conflict-affected children improved well-being and achieve better learning outcomes. And this program is part of a bigger institutionalization, mainstreaming this program in 3 country offices, specifically in Palestine, in Lebanon and Jordan, where conversations with ministries of education have been engaging for years and years. And we are now mainstreaming this programs across the national formal schools. So there are different stages of implementation across different countries, depending on discussions that are taking place with ministries of education and depending on the context. I won't stay here on this slide long, but just this is a sense of who the program is funded by, the collaboration that we have with the Interagency Education in Emergency Network. I co-chair the No Lost Generation Mental Health PSS Task Force. And of course, here, you know, we do not do anything without having formal agreements with ministries of education or UNRWA. And at the moment, we are collaborating with the University of Tromsø, with the University of Auckland, and we are also part of the Education for Action New York University Global Ties Measurement Consortium. Again, I won't stay long on this slide, but it's just to give you a sense of the 3 pillars of our program, focusing on coordination and advocacy, evidence through the partnership that we have with the universities, that kind of shapes the redefinition and the contextualization of each and every program intervention that we have in the country, and then of course the implementation. A quick snapshot. This is an ongoing, it has not yet been published, so there's a preparation for international paper. So please, this is just preliminary results of the latest research carried out in Gaza in 2019, where we had 300 students, 200 from experimental schools in Ministry of Education and 100 in controlled schools. We were testing these promoters for learning, well-being, self-regulation, self-efficacy, study skills, and future hope. And we carried out a pre-test, a post-test after the implementation of the Better Learning Program 2. So the one I mentioned, I always have them here, but the yellow one for the underachievers. And and we tested those same children 5 months later after the follow-up. And basically, results show that in the control schools, no changes have occurred in any of the domains that were measured. while in the experimental schools where we implemented the Better Learning Program too, we had a significant and lasting effects, both at the beginning and after the 5 months. Now for self-regulation, self-efficacy, study skills, you can see that there is significant and lasting effect. While for stress, well-being and hope, that's where we had reduced stress, increased well-being and hope, but more follow-up in these countries where education is constantly under attack. It is quite a logic that those are the stress can raise up soon after any intervention. COVID-19 started, schools were closed, and we had to be very creative in the way of how we could provide support through learning distance to the children that we've been working with. And so focusing on the teachers, parents, and students, basically we looked into ways of providing remote learning resources. And this is just a snapshot of what we basically pulled together in this period. We started by conceptualizing with the University of Tromsø best practices during this period, together with all the guiding notes from WHO and the various partners that are working in this sector. We tested a mobile application for teachers and parents. We had very simple flyers that were with psychosocial support messages to kind of regulate the day, staying well together, providing a routine through WhatsApp messages and community of practice that we created in this period. We were all in love with Helen's My Heroes, You, and we kind of broadcasted it in Gaza. We had 9,700 children who were listening to this beautiful story. And I can't really stop saying how great Helen's work is. We had videos that were broadcasted through Ministry of Education Lebanon social media. We created a group of master trainers and peer support, supporting the supporters in this period of where self-care was very much needed, pulling all that together in a resource guide that we then provided to our country office of operation, and then trained NRC staff in the country offices. And that brings me to my last slide. We are now preparing next week a webinar looking into some of the latest research and results and moving forward. And basically we have a regular newsletter where you're very much encouraged to subscribe, and you can find here our link. And I think in 10 minutes, this is really scratching the surface of the work that we are doing at the Norwegian Refugee Council. Thanks very much.